The blackest eyes. The devil's eyes.
Hail to the king, baby.
Boy! The plan is, kill the brain, and you kill the ghoul.
Welcome to hell.
I said, I'm not gonna hurt you. I'm just gonna bash your brains.
Welcome to prime time.
We're recording. We're live.
Nice.
Live
on Saturday, no, Friday shit.
Shit. What day is it? Oh, when did my wife leave me? Oh, God. What day is it? I forgot to take the bins out again. Yeah.
Greetings, horror fans. This is a super special episode, it would seem. Bye.
I'm so super special. Thanks for asking. What's up? There was a character. I didn't just dream this. So there is an actual character called Big Gay Al's Big Gay Boat Ride from South Park.
Yeah, there is. Yeah.
But yeah, it was one thing I was thinking, did that really happen? Did I stroke out again? I remember telling right. So hopefully some of our listeners. Also, hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night. You've got through to the podcast in the Backseat with your host Wayne Alexander and
Matthew Hudden. Hello.
He's sounding very ropey today. Yeah. Not ropey, but sexy.
Right.
It's like that scene in Was It True Lies? Deep. Right. So I've got 2 points to cover. One of them was me and my friend wanted to start up a dirty chat line, like sort of like you phone up at like £900 a minute, blah blah blah, and to do like you get the 0800 numbers and the letters spell a word.
Boobies.
Ours is gonna be 0800 deep
moist.
The pubes.
Moist pubes. And a coke.
And a coke. But yeah, so this one that was the one that we thought of, and then I can't remember what the other point was.
Fucking Jimmy Clem, I don't know.
Jimmy Clem.
You're in the deep south now. You're in Jimmy Clem's territory.
That's one that I would love for us to do a chat on, which is I think it's horror. Other people might say it's something else. It's probably got social. It's John Berman. So Deliverance. So Deliverance gets that sort of association with just that one scene.
Yeah. Where
it's Lex Luthor's sidekick gets
a bit
6-0.
silly.
Well, that bit it gets a bit silly,
yeah.
But I think it's still the bit that people stick with people. That and the dueling banjos.
Yeah.
However, it's there's more to it than that. Like I thought that was like, oh, that's like the climax of the penultimate bit before Burt Reynolds gets all fucking gung ho.
Yeah.
No mustache, just killing folks with a was like a bow and arrow, crossbow.
Yeah.
Whilst wearing what is essentially looks like a wetsuit gilet.
Yeah. Oh no, I agree. It's definitely a horror film. It's a different type of horror because we've done like psychological horror. We've oddly not done ghost horror yet or haunted horror. But this it's very more human horror and the horrors of man, I suppose.
Turns out it's man. I think I keep on coming back to this. You took a left and a right, and then you're confronted with scary door. Was it Rod Serling or whatever his name was?
The scary door.
The scary door. Turns out it's man. But yeah, I think that's the one that terrifies me the most.
Yeah.
Is the atrocities of man.
No, definitely.
But yeah, ghosts. It's not their fault that it might be their fault that they did.
Yeah, more often than not, that's why they're there in those horror films. It seems. He tried to kill a boy and set fire to himself, and now he's stuck in the McDonald's he worked in. Ronald McDonald.
I always like the idea of it as a Beetlejuice. It's the bureaucracy that comes with being undead, like dead.
Yeah.
Imagine I going, right, we're going to get you to haunt this McDonald's on a lay-by outside of Weatherby. I'd set a Montana. But yeah, like they're just trying to get like sort of appeal to our American listeners. Outside of Vermont, I don't know. So it's somewhere like where it's not particularly sort of scary in itself. Alright, we're gonna get you to haunt this McDonald's / Dairy Queen / Baskin Robbins, whatever the fuck you want to call it. And then whenever you do well enough and you get the reviews in, we'll let you haunt a bigger area. We'll move you to this 3-bedroom detached house in Wichita, and I think that would be quite cool. Just like the sort of the bureaucracy about and they go, all right, we're gonna get you to do this for a bit, see how you get on. You go,
you've got the
just phone it.
You've got snobby ghosts because they haunt castles. Or manor houses and hotels and.
But you're not going to be able to do that because you died whilst wearing a tracksuit. That's not really in keeping with the aesthetic of the castle. You just say ageist ghosts and all that kind of shit. But yeah, so why are we here today? Matthew Sugarcane Hutton.
Sugarcane. I keep forgetting about Sugarcane.
Sugarcane.
A man of many names. Jim McClam. No, yeah. So well, what we're here for is because there's a very special day coming up. I usually refer to it as the mini Halloween, and sometimes we get multiple of them throughout the year, which is quite cool. Mm-hmm. We're talking about Friday the 13th. It's such a broad subject. We're not talking about the movie. This isn't a review. This is just Friday the 13th, question mark.
Is it? Yeah, no, it is. It's a calendar. So we're talking about Friday the 13th of August 2021. Anno Domini, BC, PhD, KGB.
Was it? You made one up. It was after Halloween as well. AH or something.
IH. After Michael. AM. PM. So pre-Michael, like pre-Michael or post-Michael or anti-Michael. But yeah. So I'm probably gonna have to defer to you quite a bit in this episode because I've seen quite a few of them. I've not seen all of them. He hangs his head in sort of shame.
I don't know. Some of them are, I hate to say it, amazing, but we may as well start the ball rolling on one of the less good ones. I'm assuming one of the ones you haven't seen is part 5, where it's not actually Jason.
Jacques. Oh my god, it's not Jason. So what's this one called? Because the last one I remember for 4 was it the final chapter with Corey Feldman?
Yeah.
Is it Crispin Glover? Or is it Matthew Modine? It's Crispin Glover.
Crispin Glover's in it. Yeah, I literally watched that last night to sober up. Not even joking here.
Myself and Matthew went for a few jars last night, which resulted in some very sexy results.
That's what I call a sticky situation. I'll get the title, hang on, because I've literally got them here.
Which resulted in a lot of Father Ted references and talking about horror, and Alice Cooper, which you could probably very easily spend an episode on his kind of influences.
Yeah.
The influences on his style, and then his style has influenced then others.
It's honestly funny that you mention Alice Cooper, because one of my all-time favourite movies is Friday the 13th Part 7. The entire soundtrack is done by Alice Cooper, which is just another reason.
You know what?
Why he's so cool.
But yeah, I'd say every day is a school day.
Yeah.
Sometimes I wish it wasn't, because I feel as though that pushes stuff out of my brain. So my first bike ride, that's gone.
It's gone now.
Because I now know that Alice Cooper did the soundtrack for Friday the 13th Part 7.
I've forgotten my name.
So you're saying
because I've tried to remember that last sentence.
I know. Fuck. Shit.
But yeah, Part 5 to begin with. I've just looked at the title because it's one that I watched the least. It's called A New Beginning, and it's. I imagine it's one of the ones that you've not actually seen an awful lot, because Jason isn't the killer in it, because he was actually dead, which is quite surprising. There's a few things I don't really know where to begin, because the franchise is so bloody vast. It's hard, because if you begin with the very first one, you're going to confuse people, because again, Jason the icon wasn't in it until the very end. But yeah, A New Beginning is one of those. It actually does continue on, because you've seen Part 4 you've mentioned with Crispin Glover and Tommy Doyle.
Yeah, I've probably mentioned it in previous episodes, and just with you in general. I went to see Friday the 13th Part 4, the final chapter, followed by, I think it was Society, and then it ended with fucking It Follows.
Nice.
But yeah, so Part 4 started off a fun night, right? Jason is not fucking about.
Yeah.
It's a different guy playing Jason in this one.
Yeah.
You've got Crispin Glover. You've got the
with his mad dance.
It's fucking brilliant, man.
I know.
And apparently the guy that played him, I will look it up in a bit. He's like he fucking hated the actors. Like, he hates kids and teens and anybody else that sort of wasn't his kind of like, and that kind of shows.
Yeah.
He just, they got guys in the shower. It's like
brutalizes him.
I just think on good looking guy, yeah, I want him dead.
Yeah.
That's the you say you're living vicariously through the serial killer. So that guy looks like the sort of fella that cycles without using the handlebars. Kill him.
Fuck him to death. But yeah, I think
he spits in the streets and what's it called? Abuses the servants. Kill him.
So he does though as well. He does it a bit. What was that? Oh, the Raid. Do you know where that bit where that guy he slams his neck on the door, on the broken bit of the door? Jason does that in that movie, but with the glass part of his of the shower. It's like fucking Jason was brutal in that. Like he hurls a hammer at someone for no reason.
Yeah, it's brilliant. It's so much fun.
Oh, there's a murder in that. So in that film, we've moved to 4 now because it's a much better film, and it's actually probably the archetype one. So when you think of Friday the 13th, you think of that one. So when everyone's like, if you get your tits out, you're going to die. Yeah, that's because that happened in that movie. It didn't happen in all of them. Yeah, but that's the one everyone remembers because it's got the best talent, probably. It's not my favourite one. Obviously, I've mentioned already. It was part 6, but it's good. It's very good. But no, there's a murder in it. I don't know if you remember it very well. I literally watched it yesterday, which is why I do. The guy who's actually hunting Jason throughout, he doesn't really give a reason, but he is hunting him, and he's the one that basically gives him his machete by mistake. He goes into a basement, and Jason sort of grabs him, pins him up against the wall, and he picks up what looks like these weird hooks. And the guy, normally, and it sounds quite odd, normally when someone's dying, it's like, oh my god, I'm dying, or I'm bleeding, or whatever they say. He starts screaming, he's killing me, over and over again, which is, I remember watching it the first time thinking, that's an odd turn of phrase. And there was a documentary I was watching, apparently those were the last words of someone who was being murdered that an eyewitness heard. So they wanted to make that as brutal as possible. And that's why it sounds so jarring, because it's like, it's kind of real to a degree. Yeah.
Fuck. Yeah, that's wild. That is. Yeah, that's fucking.
That's brutal, to be honest. And when you watch it now, you think, shit, that is kind of odd that he's screaming, he's killing me, over and over. I'm laughing. That's horrible because somebody did kill someone. But yeah.
But we don't know him. It's fine.
Fuck him.
We hear that. we hear that they're well. No, they're not. He's dead. She's dead. Whatever it is. Anyway, but
if only we knew what this guy was doing to him.
Was it? What was it? What it made me think of there? It's quite a famous meme for a bit, where it was like a guy, famous last words before a man gets stabbed. What do you get? And he just asks the attacker, "What are you going to do? Stab me?" And then he gets stabbed.
I mean, I think because I'm saying a starting point. We're about 12-13 minutes in already, but the starting point is to kind of discuss, because Friday the 13th is one of those things. It's essentially, and not to be mean, a rip-off of Halloween.
Oh yeah, the what is his name? It is, don't tell me. Shit. Sean Cunningham.
Yeah, Sean S. Cunningham. Yeah, perfect. Yeah.
Sean S. Cunningham did the original one with Tom Savini. You've got Kevin Bacon and a load of other people.
Yeah.
I don't know. What I was going to mention as well. Apparently, the lady that played Pamela Voorhees was like a well-known sort of like soap opera actress. Yeah. And she got so much fucking hate for playing this character.
And she hated it. To get her back for the sequel for just the flashbacks, like, because at one point she does extras like, Jason, what are you doing, or whatever she says. She would charge them a fortune for it. Fair enough.
Because it's the same lady that plays in, is it Freddy v Jason? Is that the same lady or is that a different actress?
Different. She was sadly gone at that point. Yeah. She looks like Paul Lynde. Every time I see her, when she comes in, she's like, "Hi, Sammy."
Jason. Get him, Jason.
Kill him, Jason. Kill him for me.
Circle. Kill him for me.
I'm your mother. Don't look at the beard. Yeah, Gazoozy. If you've seen Bewitched, that's the thing. Okay. But anyway, yeah. So it's essentially a very successful rip-off of Halloween.
Yeah.
And it became its own entity, weirdly, because the main rip-off, because everybody thinks immediately, because he's a mass killer. Actually, no. If you watch the first one, Jason's not in it at all. You watch the second one, he doesn't have his iconic mask. By the third one, he does. Where it was a rip-off it was kind of the whole point of view shots, the way the mood actually started to occur. The fact it picked on a creepy holiday in itself is a bit of a rip-off. It then ripped off another way, and I'm using the term rip-off. It's not really. It's more of a homage. But it did become its own entity, and it's massive now. It's arguably more famous. Everybody remembers Friday the 13th, I think, because the movies are a little bit more fun, technically.
Yeah, I would agree with you in that respect. I wouldn't necessarily. I think horror films. Those are the two that kind of jump to mind like immediately, and yeah, it's an interesting one. I would maybe argue that Halloween for me, but everybody's got a different view or a slight bias or whatever. Obviously, you've seen them quite a bit more than mine than I have, but like I would argue for me, I think it's more so the visuals and then indeed the music.
Yeah.
The music's obviously a huge tide as well. Like I couldn't, apart from the
yeah.
Like apart from that, I couldn't tell you that was the music from it. I probably would, like if somebody used to play it in the background, I go, oh fuck yeah, it is. Of course it is. Yeah, that's
they use a lot of strings, I guess, but every film has a different soundtrack. Like I mentioned, actually, Alice Cooper does Part 6. So it's kind of hard to tell. Like each one of them has their own. Where the iconic Halloween theme, if you don't have that in a Halloween movie, Rob Zombie Halloween 2, it's not a Halloween movie. Essentially, like you're missing a key element.
Which you bring up a sort of a slight segue into this. So we discussed Rob Zombie last night, and we discussed the fact that he's pursued this for over 20 years. He's going to be remaking the Munsters.
20 years.
What do you think about that? Apparently he's pursued it for 20 years. I was flicking through social media and I just saw they'd recorded him in what looks like the Munsters car, like a souped up kind of like speedster roadster type thing with all the pipes and stuff sitting out. And apparently he's pursued it for over 20 years.
So that'll be what he used on the movie, the music video Dragula.
Probably, yeah. Because people forget, yes, he's a performer, etc., and a singer, and he's been in a couple of different bands and worked with other people. But his genre, they sort of lean very heavily into horror. And I think what we discussed last night at great length is how much he was influenced by Alice Cooper.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it's just. Yeah, I think it'll be interesting to see as to what he does with it.
Yeah, I'm kind of looking forward to it. A lot of people are kind of shitting on the idea already, and it's like, well, he's clearly got a lot of love for that sort of thing. And I even, and it was our friend who was also there.
Tutti Frutti.
Tutti Frutti, that's it. Yeah, Tutti fucking Frutti.
Yeah. So if anybody does listen, that is the pseudonym in which he wished to be referred to, rather than using his real name.
Tutti fucking Frutti.
He wanted to be referred to Tutti Frutti.
Yeah, he kind of corrected me on it, and I actually agree with what he said when he, because I said he's probably going to make it gritty and kind of like his other films. He said, well, I don't think it would. He would, sorry. He's got a lot of love for that sort of thing, and he probably want to do it a lot of homage. And honestly, to see a Rob Zombie film where he's kind of stepped back a little bit from the hard, gritty sort of, that might be quite nice. Because visually, he's there. Like, I'm not a huge fan of the remake Halloween, but visually it is a beautiful film, and his camera work on that is amazing.
It has a very particular aesthetic, doesn't it? It's almost like it's like a texture.
Yeah.
Like when I remember we talk about doing reviews, and there's like a feel. There's very much about like an unease, or like I feel like I have to have a wash after watching one of these movies, because you can just see the sweat and the glistening on people, and the dirt under people's nails, and there's like this certain grimy, grotty kind of sort of texture to it.
Yeah.
But yeah, it'd be interesting to see if he did it in the vein of what the original one, because I think did they not remake it a while ago, but it was called like Bird Lane.
Yeah.
Eddie Izzard played the grandfather.
Mock and Bird Lane, which is where they lived.
That's the one.
Yeah. Do you know the original grandfather was like 2 or 3 years older than Herman, and he's playing like this old man Dracula, but he auditioned apparently to play Grandpa again in that movie, and they said, "Oh no, you can't. You're too old." And he got interviewed afterwards. The original guy wanted to play the actual character again and turned him down. And he got interviewed afterwards saying, "Oh, they said I was too old to play a 200-year-old vampire." Fools. And everyone's talking about the Eddie Izzard version of the Munsters, aren't they? So that did well for them. But yeah,
so Friday the 13th.
Oh yeah.
How do we get onto that kind of thing? Yeah. So you said not stealing, but sort of homage to tropes.
And it's just how it's expanded hugely, because now when you consider it, for me it's a shame because I prefer Halloween. That's like my all-time favourite movie, to be honest with you. But it's grown so much now into games. It's got comics. It's got hundreds of comics. It's got books. It even had a TV series, which was
Friday the 13th. Yeah.
Very semi-based on Jason Goes to Hell. Like the cast of that was in it pretty much. I'll be honest, Jason Goes to Hell seemed to me like the movie version of that TV series, because the TV series preceded it, and then they finally got Jason. Yeah. Did you ever see the TV series, if you don't mind me asking?
No, there's a couple of TV shows, I think.
Yeah.
Whenever they first kind of came out, because generally, and you'll probably agree with me, is that you would get stuff in America, unlike now, where it would be like you get it like a day afterwards.
Yeah.
Like it would happen at a certain time, and it would be available the following day to stream or watch or whatever.
Yeah.
But back then, it would take like sometimes 6 months to a year before a film that got released in the States then got released over in the UK.
Yeah. TV took longer, weirdly. I don't know why.
Oh yeah, like I remember like Buffy the Vampire Slayer being like 2 seasons ahead, and just going like, what the fuck, dude.
Cha.
Cha.
No.
But yeah, that's it. It just sort of really annoyed me that you would get it like so much later.
Yeah, I'll be honest, it's not amazing, but it's a bit like if you know, I've not seen this, but Warehouse 13. The premise is there's a warehouse with a bunch of artifacts in it.
Yes, I've seen bits of it.
That was exactly the same as Friday the 13th, basically. So they're following these artifacts. Weird shit happens with each artifact, and I think it only got 13 episodes. That was clever. And then it got Jason Goes to Hell, which if you have seen that movie, Jason's barely in it.
It's a bit like, what's that famous book? It's got more Robin Hood in it than somebody else. Oh, what's it called?
I'm not sure.
Oh shit! It's a famous like sort of classic. It's Ivanhoe. There's more. It's not about fucking Ivanhoe. It's about there's more Robin Hood in it than Ivanhoe, or something like that, or some other kind of famous alleged historical figure. But yeah, I think that's bits.
It's weird because it's changed again. Just to talk about how vast it is, it's changed genres multiple times. Like the first one, the very first one is a whodunit to a degree.
I forgot about that. That's the case at who.
Yeah.
Who the fuck did it? Where's Poirot?
Yeah.
The little mustache. David, is it David Suchet?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Or is it Robert Suchet?
Yeah, I just remember his surname. Suchet.
Suchet.
Belgian Poirot.
What?
Poirot versus Pamela.
Yeah, it's David Suchet played Poirot for many years, and he's got that little twiddly mustache. Imagine him just turning up. I've invited everybody to the dining room, but everybody is dead but me and the killer.
And Columbo.
And Columbo.
Just one more thing. Oh, Pamela, stop it! You're eviscerating me.
You're killing me.
You're killing me. Tell my wife that you never see. Anyway.
Imagine it happened as a tie-in with Princess Bride. So he's sitting telling Fred Savage the story. He's killing me. Okay, Grandad. What else happened to the story? He's killing me.
Shut up, he's not finished yet. He's killing me, he said. His guts spilled out. He screamed again. He's killing me. Just one more thing. Grandpa, no. Who's that guy behind you? It's Jimmy Clam.
Jimmy Clam. I'd watch a horror film where he's like a hapless redneck. Just to go on, huh? But he's just kind of busy, he's like barely hominoid. He's just sort of like putting things together, and he just sees like he's trying to put like, I've got this knife. What's it do? And he just goes, huh? Combine to your face. Jimmy Clem must know. But he just becomes more intelligent as the films go on. You just go, right. He's learning. I don't know why. But yeah, I mean, arguably as well, the most famous. I mean, there's Corey Feldman. There's
we've mentioned a few of the famous people in it. But I think the biggest name to ever come out of Friday the 13th is probably Kane Hodder. He's, in my opinion, the most celebrated and well-deserved of all the Jasons because his performance is the best.
It's weird how somebody can manage to do that without uttering a single word.
Yeah, I think he begins in part 6 as well. So he's really late, yeah, because part 4 obviously was a different guy entirely. Part 5 is not even Jason.
He's the one that fucking hates kids.
Yeah. So you've got to think, you've got to wait, because it's one of those weird, it shouldn't work in theory. So it's a rip-off of arguably, I say it definitely is, better film. It's a rip-off of a better film with a better holiday attached to it, right? It's got a bunch of obnoxious kids in it. It's got fucking... Footloose is probably the most famous person in all of it, I suppose. I've just forgot what's his face was in part 1.
Kevin Bacon.
That's him, yeah. And it's not like there's no iconic killer, there's no iconic theme tune, there's a noise. The noise is an icon in itself, which is cool. But it's Pamela Voorhees, which was kind of a nice twist. I love the first one, it gets a lot of shit.
I love it.
Yeah.
I think it's genuinely very, very cool and very kind of creepy.
Yeah. And then
for that shock.
Yeah, at the end, everybody jumped at the end when Jason does appear. I defy anyone to say they didn't and mean it. But no, part 2, Jason is in it all of a sudden, finally, and he seemed, because it's 5 years later and he's a fully grown adult, weirdly. Let's not get into that. He doesn't even get his iconic mask. He's wearing a bag with a hole in it. So you've got to wait 3 films.
But Matthew, he's fuck ugly.
He's fugly in that one. He's got a whole beard.
No. Yeah. He's fuck ugly. But I love that bit in it in Freddy versus Jason, where like it's a flashback and they go back to like Camp Crystal Lake and like the counselors are too busy fucking each other and the kids like, I can't swim. Fuck him, let him drown. What's the worst that can happen? What's he gonna do? Return from the grave, or his mother's gonna go around killing everybody?
Is a fucking unbeatable killing machine. But that's the thing. Again, that was my original point. Sorry. The franchise itself shouldn't work because what you remember about it doesn't actually occur until fucking ages later. So you've got to wait three films to see the Jason you wanted to see in the mask you wanted to see him, and it's a movie shot in 3D, annoyingly, with 2 soundtracks. If you can get the original soundtrack, it's amazing. But anyway, enough of that.
So why is the 2 soundtracks?
Oh, because they thought with it being 3D, they wanted to make it a bit more 80s techno. So it's this really jaunty, hey, doodly doodly. Yeah, it's awful. But if you get the original soundtrack, it's like it's a lot more horror. It's like it's a bit like part 1 and 2, because I can picture it having just watched them recently. It's a lot of strings, very sharp strings. But then you've got to wait.
Used to sever heads.
Yeah. So then you've got part 4, which is the archetype of all it's what you remember basically, but in it, which goes against what you believe, Jason is still human because he does die at the end. Like Corey Feldman cuts his head in. he cuts his head. Cuts his head. Yeah, he's killing him.
He's killing him. Imagine. I would love. Do you I'd love to see, because obviously I think we're technically classed as millennials due to the year in which we were born.
Yeah.
But you get like people get in trouble for like basically verbalizing every thought that travels through their head. Imagine if that was the killer's sort of MO. I'm killing him. I'm stabbing him repeatedly in the face until he stops moving.
I'm wondering what the blood tastes like. Well, why have I got a boner?
Imagine just going. Such a strange boy. Should I fuck him? I think I'll fuck him. There's nobody around. Oh my god!
No one will ever know.
Oh, look at her breasts! Look at her sopping wet breasts.
Silent mode activated.
But he still has to speak. Just gonna stab you very gently right now, just a touch of water. I'm gonna kill you more loudly because I know that there's nobody for miles around.
It reminds me of that Family Guy episode where Peter's narrating his entire life, but imagine it's Jason doing it. He's like, I watched her as she undressed. She didn't know I was there. She turned to look at something in the bushes where I was, and she's running away. Oh shit.
But yeah, I would love to see, not necessarily if he openly says it, but maybe sort of you can hear his inner monologue. That would be quite cool.
Yeah.
Did you ever watch Scrubs?
Yeah, yeah, a little bit.
So there's a guy called, is it the Todd?
Mm.
And you hear like sort of there's Turk, and you hear his sort of thought process and going, I wonder if this surgery's going to go well today. And then it cuts to the called the shiny scalpel, the slice him up. But I think that'd be quite cool.
No,
or speech bubbles above the guy's head.
Where it makes the popping boop.
Or I would love to see that in a horror film where you just turn it breaks the fourth wall and just turns to the camera. It's at this point he realised he fucked up. She done snapped her ankle, so I'm gonna smash her head in with a sledgehammer.
And then you say it from her perspective. It's like, it was at this point I knew I fucked up. I just smashed my ankle. But yeah, so part 4 is the one everyone remembers, but again, it's not quite there. It's not how you remember Jason. Part 5, it's not even Jason. Part 6,
because is it Corey Feldman becomes the killer, right?
Oh no, it's Corey Feldman does grow up. It is Tommy's in it again, but he's on like what they call, and obviously it's a bit un-PC, but they call it like a loony farm. Because he's
sanatorium,
exactly,
which is a real thing. People used to be able to pay to go to the, as you referred to, it's like the loony bin.
Yeah. Oh, that's the terms they used. I didn't. Yeah, it's not very nice. But no, it's not. It turned out it was an ambulance driver. Spoilers. It's not a very good film. I enjoy it still because I just like the icon. But
yeah, I think that's what it is. You don't have to overanalyze. You can just go in, right, I'm going to let this movie wash over me. I'm going to enjoy it, and it's got the tropes and the things that I like.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's it.
But it's all the way up until part 6, which is my favourite, where Tommy Doyle is in it again, and he's a different actor. He's the guy out of Return the Living Dead, the young one in it. I'll never remember his name.
The young one.
Yeah.
Is he tight?
He's tight. But he's probably the best actor in all of them, to be honest with you. He's the one everyone remembers, even. Because, which I'll get onto in a moment, in the game, if you play as him, because you can play as him if you die and come back, you can actually kill Jason, which I'll get into at some point. But yes, it's all the way up until part 6, where you get the Jason you remember. So it's
Jason Lives.
Yes. So he's the one after Tommy Doyle at the very beginning stabs him with a I don't know, it's like a fence, and it gets struck by lightning, and thus the immortal Jason was finally born, which is what everybody remembers. But when you consider it, you've had to wait ages. So from 1980 till whenever that came out, which I think was like 88.
Jason Lives is 86.
86.
I think.
Damn.
Did they not pretty much bring out a film every year?
Yeah, well, will be if it's 86. Yeah. So you've got to wait ages to just see the Jason that you've now. If I was to have just said without that explanation, Jason, you immediately think of the unkillable, hockey mask wearing killer. Didn't appear till the 6th film. Everything prior to that, there was variables. Part 7 obviously has a psychic woman in it. That makes no sense. But anyway, Part 6 is in Manhattan, which is bizarre. No, Part 8, sorry, is in Manhattan.
Yeah, Part 7, The New Blood.
Yeah.
Part 8. So the pretty much.
It's so inconsistent. It shouldn't work, but it bloody does. Like.
So Jason Goes to Hell came out in 93.
Jesus.
So it was pretty much every year they brought out a Friday the 13th. How cool would that have been? Like maybe being born in maybe the late 60s, early 70s, being old enough to go to the cinema and being let in, or being able to sneak in and knowing every year without fail.
Yeah.
Until I think it's 89, you've got a new Friday the 13th movie and going, we'll go see the new Friday the 13th.
That was my dad, apparently. My dad went to see them.
Amazing.
He went to see the Freddy's. Again, he was too young to see the very first ones, but he still did it.
Yeah.
Lucky sod. He remembers, God, not to go on to it too much because I'd love to do this sort of thing for Halloween. So the lead up to Halloween, all of October was probably just going to be Halloween. Yeah. But he always remembers telling me, because Halloween 4 came out in 88, and it's one of those that gets shit on kind of. I love it. I think Halloween 4 was great. But it was 20, no, it wasn't 20 years, man. It was 10 years after the first one. Mm-hmm. And obviously with the third one having come out, my dad's always been a fan of the third one anyway, but when that came out, there was a lot of fan disappointment for some reason, because it's a good film. But everyone wanted to see Michael.
It's fucking brilliant. It just doesn't have that thing that you're after. It's got a tenuous link.
Yeah.
the fuck him.
Fuck him to death. But he always remembers that when the trailer for Halloween 4 came out, like my dad was saying, I wonder what Carpenter's going to do next. Like, what anthology is he actually? It's Michael again. And all of a sudden he was way more excited. Realised it wasn't Carpenter and thought, saw the trailer and thought, actually, never mind, it's fucking great. And what again? I watched them way too young, so I enjoyed it. But no, it's one of, because after that one, because you mentioned already, Jason Goes to Hell. Jason's barely in it. You've got then Jason X, so Jason in space.
More like Jason Sex.
Do you know? I just figured out that title for the very first time the other day. Jason X. It's the 10th movie. It was at that moment he realised he was really dumb. Jimmy Clay.
He wasn't. David Cronenberg's in the film.
What, in part?
In Jason Sex.
Oh, he is. Yes, he's the guy he calls, isn't he? Yeah.
Dr. Wimmer.
Yeah. And I think after that, the only Jason film, well, there was the remake, but then there was Jason, Freddy vs. Jason. So that was a very brief rundown of, but it was more to just illustrate your conception of the Friday the 13th franchise. Is kind of, it's weird because it's not right unless you really think about it. Because if you were to actually analyse the movies, which sadly I watch them annually, so I've seen them so fucking
anally.
Much.
You watch them anally.
I'll sit on the chair and just open my cheeks, right? No, and watch them through my butthole. No.
I reckon Laserdisc is possibly going to be the one that's going to cause the least amount of damage.
Yeah.
Are they smaller again, aren't they?
Yeah, exactly. You can just.
You start with a Laserdisc, maybe work your way up to a nice Betamax at the end.
God, no. Never be able to
Top
sit
load.
down.
You're going, oh my god, he's top loading his own asshole.
But no, it's just one of those things. Like, in theory, you shouldn't. As a franchise, it shouldn't work. It shouldn't be as big as it is. But I'm so fucking glad it is. Like, even though I've criticised Part 5 and Jason Goes to Hell, I still like them. I'll watch them like every time. Where there is a Halloween film I won't watch, which is fucking Resurrection.
Is that with War Buster Rhymes in it?
Buster Rhymes doing, because he's a massive fan of Bruce Lee. Fucking that film. Every time I think about it, I want to die, or I want to kill everyone.
wait, right. So do they? Because Laurie Strode, she dies in that one, doesn't she?
Yeah, at the very beginning, which is actually the best part of the film, ironically, because it was shot like an actual movie. The only thing that's really dumb about it is that Laurie all of a sudden is really stupid. Like, Michael is hung upside down, reaches out to her, and she thinks, maybe I should stick my neck in front of his face. Laurie, no. Jimmy.
No, don't do it. Oh, Jimmy, why you do this to me, Jimmy?
Yeah. Jimmy.
I said that's it.
Jimmy Clam. Anyway.
Jimmy Clam. Why you do? Is that from it's The Exorcist, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
Where
why you do
Linda
this?
Blair starts. Oh, Jimmy, why you do this to me, Jimmy? Jimmy. I feel right bad because I feel as though I'm doing some sort of horrible impersonation of like some sort of some lady's way. Oh, but I thought he was Irish.
So yeah, he was. Yeah, I'm sure he was. Oh, he's like half Irish, half whatever she was.
Half old lady.
Half old lady. That's why he died falling down those stairs. Broke all of his bones. But no, it's just. I think its longevity with Friday the 13th, this is not The Exorcist and old ladies breaking bones, is just the fun you can have with it. It's defined slasher genre tropes. So again, Part 4 being the archetype one. So if somebody gets naked in it, they're dead. If they do drugs, they're dead. Those are the rules, and those are the rules that were established basically in Friday the 13th. Because not to be that guy. You're wrong if that's what you believe about all slashers. You watch Halloween, more often than not, the people that do die didn't get naked, didn't really commit any cardinal sin. Even Friday the 13th itself broke some of the rules because it was the very first time I ever saw someone in a wheelchair die. They were not fair game for a very long time, but they were in that. Our children as well. Like Friday the 13th Part 6, for the very first time again, which is weird, Camp Crystal Lake had actual campers. So there's a lot more of a threat there, Jason, because you think, oh, he's not going to kill the kids. He actually goes for them. It's like he doesn't get one, which you would never have got away with in the 80s, definitely.
But what I like about like Friday the 13th in comparison to Halloween, and I think it's very difficult to keep them separate.
Yeah.
One's obviously inspired by the other one, but obviously I think they go in different routes. What I liked about Friday the 13th is that you got Halloween, Michael Myers, and he just walks.
Yeah.
You can run as fast as you possibly can, but for whatever reason,
he'll get you.
I would love to, like, behind the scenes footage where he doesn't realise he's walking and he's just fucking tossing it. He's just going whoosh, fucking just absolutely legging it. Maybe he has to, like, tuck his overalls into his trainers so he don't get caught on a branch or something, just fucking legging it, and then just as soon as the camera turns around, he's like with his hands in his cheeks going I knew I should have stretched beforehand. But yeah, what I liked about Friday the 13th, I think it might have been 4, might be the first one I properly watched, where he just fucking legs it at somebody in the piss and rain and just fucking knacks them.
Yeah.
And I like that difference.
Yeah.
It would have been so easy just to have him just walk.
Which he sadly later does. By like 7, I think he's just a walking killer again. But yeah, you're right though.
As long as he just fucking legs it, just knacks it, some poor bastard. Well, say poor bastard. I'm glad that he goes out and kills. I was whilst you've been talking, I was just having a look at some interesting facts about it. So people forget that Tom Savini does the special effects for the first one.
Yeah.
Tom Savini obviously is Sex Machine and a bunch of other ones, but it took me years to figure out that the reason why he did special effects is because he was a photographer during the Vietnam War, so he knew what real injuries and sort of burns and slash wounds and stuff like that looked like. So he said, "Oh, I'm gonna make this for real." But apparently, a lot of the special effects were actually baked in the camp's kitchen.
That's meant. They're still effective now. Like some of the gore and that. In fact, I can't think of one that I thought looked really shit. To be honest with you,
I probably not. Well, I think that's the disparity. I think between sort of in Halloween, you don't. I think in the initial one, you see the after effect, but you don't necessarily see the gritty detail. Whereas I think Friday the 13th wanted to show you, like where Kevin Bacon's just lying in the bottom bunk, and he just gets the arrow up through the bed and up through the windpipe. So I don't think he would have been able to do half of that stuff because I would love to see, like, all right, we've got this deleted scene. We just see this old woman. Imagine like the look of determination in her face. Like it's like somebody trying to open like a jar of pickles, but instead she's forcing an arrow through some young buck's head, up through like that. That would have taken some doing. Going, all right. Yeah.
I think it's Paul Lindman. He's just like, I'm gonna kill you, you footloose bastard.
Those dancing kids. It's not how you dance. This is how you dance. Da 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 da. Dun 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 dun.
Anyway, well, he was in Bye Bye Birdie, wasn't he? So
yeah, well, I love because there was loads of different aspects of like a sort of the work so much in its favour.
Yeah,
the camp's still in use to this day, and it was originally going to be called like A Long Night at Camp Blood.
Yeah. I'm glad they changed that.
I know. I'm trying to think of any other ones. Yeah.
Because there's a lot of them that a lot of people kind of cack on, and again because they're so inconsistent, like, and that's fine. It works in its favour for me. So a lot of people kind of poop on Freddy vs Jason. I loved it.
It's so much fun.
Brilliant. Yeah.
I wanted to see more because it's this sort of eternal battle between the two of them for dominance.
Yeah.
Like, and it's one's in the physical and one's in the mental, and it depends on which one kind of scared you the most.
I was always Team Freddy, mind you. I'll be honest.
I think it's because he can get you anywhere.
Yeah.
And I think the only person he can't get is Chuck Norris, because Chuck Norris doesn't sleep; he just waits.
Turns the lights off and sits on his bed. See you in 8 hours.
But but that's a sort of ones. Yeah, and I think whether that's just the way it worked out, that Freddy was initially destroyed by fire, and Jason was initially allegedly, afraid of water,
but spends most of his time in the lake.
I know, like, what the fuck, like,
It's like Jesus coming back, or like just going to sleep on a cross every night, like Batman.
Just like some sort of like he's Jesus, zombie Jesus running around killing people next to a timber yard, and the only thing that can kill him is being nailed to wood.
Blowing acid bubbles through the holes in his hand. Thy will be done.
That would be brilliant. I would love to see that directed by Mel Gibson, because you know it's going to be brutal.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, but no, because obviously we'll expand. This is a topic that we can't go into a massive amount of detail, so we will, because it's to run up to Friday the 13th itself. We're going to climax on a review of a Friday the 13th film, which I'll leave to yourself to pick, because I'm easy.
You know what? I might pick one that I've not, either the one I've never seen beforehand. I don't know. Probably wants to go back to 4. But you said, was it Jason? Is it Jason Lives number 6? Did you say?
Yeah.
Where it becomes so maybe we'll go with 6.
Yeah. Have you not seen part 6 or?
No, they're not that I remember.
In for a treat.
So maybe we'll in for one of them treatings.
Treats.
Treats. Season's treatings. But yeah, I think it's I think there's sort of there's a lot to be said for the movies, and I would love for them to revisit it. So what about the most recent one that they did with your guy from Supernatural, Jared Padalecki, I think his name is?
Yeah, the remake. Have you seen that one?
I have seen that one.
Yeah.
And they play very straight-laced.
Yeah.
And there's just a load of pricks in it that you just go on, I hope Jason kills him.
Oh, he does.
That guy's wearing a medium t-shirt, Jason killing.
It was quite odd, because the thing with the Friday the 13th remake was there's a lot of love for the franchise as a whole, because there's elements from a lot of different films in it, which I think is great. And because I've seen them so much, that's how I notice a lot of them. So Jared Padalecki's character is actually that hunter I mentioned in part 4.
Yes.
He's like, he's killing me. That's not going to be a catchphrase of the show. That's someone's death words, man. Like,
I know.
Because
what I was going to say, because the guy that directed that also did, I think from what I remember, did he not do the... Yes, he did the remake of a Texas Chainsaw Massacre, which I think is very good.
Yeah, I remember seeing.
Marcus Nispel, the guy that did the remake of Friday the 13th, but he also did... he did...
Massacre.
The Texas Chainsaw Mascara.
Mascara.
Yeah, I only mentioned that is from I watched Priscilla, Queen of the Desert. Have you ever seen that movie beforehand?
No, sadly not.
Oh, it's brilliant. So it's got Zod, so it's got Terrence Stamp as a drag act in it. You've got Hugo Weaving, who becomes Agent Smith and plays a load of villains and loads of really good guys in like Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
And then you've got Guy Pearce, who kind of like came to fruition as far as like acting in like LA Confidential, which is a really, really good sort of like period piece, if you want to call it that one.
Yeah.
Then he became a villain in like Iron Man 3. He's done like a ton of movies where he's played both good and bad guys. Lockdown is a really fun film. Have you seen that one?
No.
It's basically it's Escape from New York, but in space.
Nice.
And it's got that guy. What is his name? Joseph Gilgun, the one who was in like This Is England, but he also plays Cass, the vampire in Preacher. He's in that TV show Brassic. He's been in like loads of stuff. He's a really good sort of cult TV and movie actor. Yeah, if you get a chance to watch, he's definitely been inspired by John Carpenter's Escape from New York, but it's like basically the president's daughter's in a maximum security prison in space, and he gets sent up to kind of save her. It's so much fun. If you get an opportunity to watch it, that's loads of fun. But yeah, I think I'll go with 6. 6 will be the one I'll watch. Jason Lives before Jason Takes Manhattan, which for some reason I think would be like a musical.
It's weird. It's so bizarre. Like it's called Jason Takes Manhattan, but about 2/3 of the movie's on a boat. I'm not selling it. I actually quite like the film. It's fine. But yeah, part 6 I'm happy to do. It's one that on Friday the 13th itself I will be watching it again. So I'll probably see it twice quite recently or soon with my dad, because it's the one I think I mentioned, that wonderful drinking game, the only drinking game I've ever really played, to be honest, where if you watch part 6 Friday the 13th, it's famous for having like one of the most murders in a film. So for every death in it, because every 3 minutes there's a death in it, you take a shot. I've never completed the movie. There's one point where he kills like 3 people at once, and nah.
Oh, what was it? There's a film that's got like one, not the highest body count because it's like loads of war movies and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But there's one you couldn't turn it into your drinking game. It would literally kill you. Maybe within the first 15 minutes. I think there's a death every 24 seconds. So it's the Rambo movie that came out over 10 years ago.
Oh, right.
It is brutal, and I would argue to a certain extent it is a form of horror movie because it takes place in, is it Burma? Obviously it's no longer called Burma anymore, it's Myanmar.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's fucking brutal. Like, Rambo does not fuck about. Jonathan, whatever his middle initial is, Rambo, does not fuck about. He's like, I'm not dealing with that. Was it Brian Dennehy shit? I'm just gonna start fucking knacking people. No, I forget what was his name. Horatio Kane, I think his name is, from the CIS Miami.
Is he making up for the fact that he only killed one person in the first film? He's like, this
he
time.
just like, oh, no. Because the first one's in there, then the second one's back in, is it Nam?
Yeah, Vietnam.
Third one's in fucking Afghanistan. The Ruskies in Afghanistan, which apparently was a real thing.
Yeah.
And then 4 is like, he's in Burma. He's got long hair, he's got a bandana, he's fucking just knacking everybody. It is brutal. So that is horrific.
World.
Very good. But yeah, I'm really excited to watch it because from memory, I don't remember watching it. That's not to say I haven't. But I'm not going to be doing the drink game because I cannot drink for shit.
No,
it's not possible. I'd be like,
as you found out yesterday, I cannot drink for shit. So
what I'm going to ask you to do, this is a request I've got for you, Matthew, is I don't want you to mute yourself whenever you laugh.
Oh no. I
want people to hear that cackle, that maniacal cackle with a friend Tutti Frutti. Yeah, it's weird that I just assumed that because he wears that lovely dinner jacket, that it's almost like, I feel like it's a pimp name.
Tutti Frutti.
Tutti Frutti.
Oh, Tutti fucking Frutti, I think it was.
Tutti fucking Frutti. Yeah. But yeah, I think that's such a cool name. Oh, you gotta go speak to Tutti Frutti over there.
Tutti Frutti is next to Sugar Cane and Unsmooth.
It's shit. What's shaking cats?
There's bottom bitches. Sugar Cane and Unsmooth. God.
Oh yeah, he's got like a big iconic ring. You know, it's been a bad day where he's got like a couple of hair clots and some stuff like that because he's been backhanding his what do you call it?
Biatches.
I was gonna say he-hos.
He-hos.
His he-ho he-men.
There's a piece of someone's ear stuck to the ring.
I just keep it there for every now and again, just licks it.
It's a little snack for later.
You should keep her.
Jimmy Clem approves.
Jim McClem. This message has been brought to you by Jim McClem.
By Jim McClem.
It's a Bob Dole. Bob Dole likes this to be called Jim McClem. Imagine that's the only words he ever said. He's just going, oh, and just before he sunk the knife into his throat. Jim McClem.
Jim McClem.
Jim. How are you feeling today? Jim McClem.
Jim McClem.
Oh, that's good. And you go on, and how's your sister, Jim McClem? Oh, she's feeling better. Did she get that job that she's going for? Jim McClem.
Jim McClem. It's
Timmy.
He's trying to alert someone who's about to get run over. Jim McClem. Jim McClem. Hi, Jimmy.
I wanted to be played by Brad Dourif because he does that whole sort of like not bumbling, but like almost like that stutter or stammer.
Yeah.
Because he does it in fucking One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest.
Yeah. Oh,
he's Bobby Bibbit.
Yeah. Well,
I think
he
goes from
I think my dad mentioned again. This is allegedly because I mentioned that I wanted to do a sequel to Freddy vs. Jason. He said that one of them might be pairing up with Chucky soon, which I don't think either one of them would pair up very well with Chucky. Because, you know, a dollverse is either a dream demon or an unkillable. But it'd be interesting to see, especially if they got Brad Dourif, who's doing the TV series soon. But it would be quite nice if you had Brad Dourif go up against Jason probably, because if you had him go up against England, both of which are kind of hilarious and have great voices, it would just be a bit like a stand-up battle. You wouldn't be like, who can outquip?
He's the quippiest quipper.
Hey, Freddy, it's your friend Chucky.
I'm trying to think of any other sort of face-offs that you potentially have. Like,
there's Michael and Jason, but that would be kind of dull, in my opinion. Like, Michael will be in the shadows, Jason will be like, "Where are you?" Like,
I like neither of them would speak.
No. I think there was talks a while back. This is ages ago. I'm on about 90s with Pinhead versus Michael, and they were going to try and write that Michael was basically a Cenobite somehow. Glad that didn't happen.
I don't know how it worked, because don't get me wrong, like is it Douglas? Is it Bradley Douglas or Douglas Bradley?
Oh,
or
Doug Bradley. Yeah.
So Doug Bradley, former school teacher,
yeah,
soon to be Cenobite, and apparently Clive Barker hates the term Pinhead.
Yeah.
Because he was originally called like priest or preacher because he carries himself as such, and it's the way he kind of moves.
In the first one, he was just lead demon or lead Cenobite as well.
Mm-hmm.
By the second one, he was priest, the Hell Priest. That was it. Yeah.
Because they did what's it called, the Scarlet Chronicles, the Scarlet Books, whatever.
Yeah.
Where it's basically priest or preacher, but becomes Pope of Hell.
Yeah. And
but apparently
not?
It kind of, apparently it sees off and they kill off Pinhead in it, which I think is sort of quite sad, because I quite like him, because as he says, he's sort of angels to some, demons to others, and it all depends on your perspective.
True.
Like, don't fuck with the box.
Yeah.
And going, that's why. Like, imagine going, it'd be quite cool. What we're gonna do is we're gonna repackage a Rubik's cube. And we're going to repackage the lament configuration into a Rubik's cube, and you get one of these like YouTube videos of the kids like doing it in fucking 15 seconds blindfolded.
You can buy them. I've got the only Rubik's cube I've got is the lament configuration, and I messed it up because I thought, alright, I'm going to mix it. Can't do it because the patterns on it, they're on two faces, so like two faces are the same, so it's so fucking hard. I loaned it to a friend who's still got it because he was like, I'll be able to do it. It's been over a year, like well over a year.
Have you checked on the friend? Has he completed it? And then
no,
he's completed it.
He's not completed it. No.
Do you think he's alright?
No. Have you done it, Father?
He's dead.
But yeah, no, that you can actually buy them. They're quite cheap. What's hard to get is a replica, which my dad has. Son of a bee. He's got a beautiful full-scale replica of the lament configuration that doesn't move, sadly. But my partner refuses.
I would love to do that. Yeah.
Yeah, like an actual puzzle box. But my partner refuses to let me get one. They're expensive, and I want one. She's just it put the shit up at the movie. It's like, no, I don't want to risk potentially having a real Pinhead. Because he's one of the last people you want around you. Because he's enjoying what he's doing as well.
The only reason I would maybe do it is say it's a really hot summer. For whatever reason, it suddenly gets dark and the room gets cold and you can see his breathing going like, should we put the AC on? No. Just get the lament configuration. Just open it enough that the room gets darker.
Just get the Pinhead out.
Let's get the Pinhead out. Shall we? Oh, well, it's cheaper than putting the AC on. We want to save some money. Just open the box a little bit, like as he licks his finger and just runs his finger around the outside of the box and just going, oh, it's coming a bit. Oh, that's it. No, you're going to have to push it back a little bit. Oh, that temperature's just nice. And he's just sitting waiting. You can't do it until you've like done the last bit of the puzzle. And you've got that chattering fella.
Oh, he's classic. He was a little kid or something, wasn't he? I love that. There's like that musical sting when they start doing it. And it's really hard to describe. You'll have to look it up, everyone. But there's a brilliant musical sting when they start, when they complete the configuration. And then there's that weird noise that appears. All the lights seem to run through the seams in the on the plates of the wall or whatever. And then Pinhead appears. It's just so fucking cool. Oh man, actually, him versus Jason might be quite interesting.
Because one would be very straight faced, and the other one would go all that sort of stuff. You're going, that's because
you'd see him like rip the shit out of him. Yeah, like with the hooks in it. Yeah,
but like I'll do it to myself.
Yeah, no.
Green worms.
The only thing about the Cenobites is that they're a bit squishy, it seems, because the Doctor character in it kind of kills them quite easily. Like, he just shoots bits of himself in them, and they die. So if Jason got a hold of him, like, he'd be fucked.
Because it almost sort of makes sort of like the preacher character from the first one, Pinhead, almost quite sympathetic.
Yeah.
And then you sort of feel like he's not a villain per se.
He was involved with the Vietnam War or something, wasn't he?
I think it's like Second or First World War, because you see him wearing, he's almost wearing like a captain's uniform.
Yeah, you're right.
And then I think as it's 3, that I find it's the lead character's dad is the guy that got the original puzzle box or something, or something to that effect anyway. Yeah. He's gone, there you go. You know, you've helped us out during the set. I just got this little keepsake.
Yeah.
I've just been said, you can have. That's quite nice. It's got a little bit of gold trim on it. Just having a play about with this.
It moves.
It's at this point he realised that he fucked up. He's just trying to do Morgan Freeman. But yeah,
it was at this point that Pinhead came. The box, you opened it, etc.
That's very good. Imagine him just putting the voice in whenever you forgot your homework, whenever he was still a school teacher.
You'd shit like, wouldn't you? Even in hell, your torment will be legendary.
I think he reads a lot of Poe, like Edgar Allan Poe.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
On his social media page. And he's just got this amazing voice. I kind of wish he would do it in the full prosthetics, but obviously that's a fuck on and a half.
Yeah.
Just pop on there and go, Jesus.
I'll just stick the pins in, God.
Jesus. It's went too far. Acupuncture, it's gone too far. Went a little bit off topic, but we generally do anyway. But apparently there was a lady that worked maybe on the production design of something for the original Hellraiser. It's like, what should we call it? Was it Sadomasochist from Hell? From Hell, yeah. I think it was one of the from Hell. And then the lady was like, was it the lengths the lady will go to get a good fuck?
Yeah.
Was another one.
Yeah. No, I guess, yeah. But yeah, I mean, obviously with this, it was going to be a 2-parter because it is going to be the lead up. I don't know if it's a nice place, because the idea, I really like those sort of fighting movies. I liked Alien vs Predator. It's one of those things that are just kind of fun. There's not enough of them. There's like Demonic Toys versus Puppet Master.
Puppet Masters, yeah.
Yeah, which is kind of cool. But I'd love them to do more. Like,
it's a Ginger Dead Man versus something. Is it like some sort of ball?
Yeah, I've not seen that one, sadly.
Ginger Dead Man's it's and I know we like to remain positive. It's shit, but it's shit to the point where it's good.
Yeah.
Like, it's just like, Gary Busey fucking breaks into like a bakery and gets shot after he's murdered a bunch of people and kidnapped them.
Yeah.
His blood goes into some batter where they make ginger. Of course it would be cordoned off.
A bit like Jack Frost, like, as well.
I know.
No, in terms of films that this is your homework. You just have to watch the trailer, because don't, for the love of God, watch the movie. I had to watch the movie with Mystery Science Theater 3000 dub on it, or riff tracks, because they also do it. Manos: The Hands of Fate, if you've ever seen it.
I know of it. It does get it got mentioned in a couple of them because it's Manos means hand.
Hands in Latin, yeah.
Hands. I've talked about this beforehand. Like, I reckon if they put a placement of a comma would make all the difference. It's like, instead of like James, no, it's Bond, James Bond.
Yeah.
And it just goes hands, the hands of fate.
But you have to watch the trailer because it's hilarious. But yeah, I don't know if you want to leave that one.
No, I'm quite good. I'm quite happy with that. So we'll lean into it more as we get closer to Friday the 13th, which is, as I mentioned beforehand, is in
August.
Is it in August?
It is, yeah.
Friday the 13th of August. I'm going to hang up with Jason, Pamela, Kevin, the rest of the gang.
Next episode, hopefully we'll talk more on other aspects of the franchise, because obviously there's a massive amount of comics. I'm the comic geek, so I sadly know a lot about that. In terms of pair-ups, they did a Freddy vs. Jason vs. Ash double set, which is nails to get hold of now. Luckily I got the originals. Fucking amazing. I wish they would do it, but again, we'll get into that later on.
Imagine it's a lot of. Imagine there'd be a lot of studio interference to a certain extent, because one's owned by one studio, one's owned by another one. Yeah. Even like the game itself, there was a lot of like rights issues and stuff like that. Well, we'll maybe touch on that in the next one that we do about it.
Yeah, absolutely. And I was actually going to try and get into a bit more Let's Plays, and one of the ones I wanted to do was Friday the 13th, especially around the time. So if you want to look at that, you can do.
Just gonna have a little look at that. Just
inside.
But yeah, yeah. I was gonna say at this point again, we'll come back to our Instagram page. If you did have any questions, anything you want for us to discuss, anything we've not covered thus far when it comes to the Friday the 13th. Yeah, or if you had any sort of interesting, silly ideas, any factoids, hit us up at our Instagram page at Podcast in the Backseat. I repeat, that is.
I see,
boy. Chicken Hawk at Podcast in the Backseat.
But yeah, on that merry note,
it's been emotional.
It's been a journey. We had some laughs, some cries, and we learned the true meaning of Christmas.
It turns out that Santa was inside me all along. Oh no, he's inside me, isn't he? And he's inside me.
He's killing me.
He's killing me, but not softly. He's killing me harshly.
Oh God, I'm not going to listen to that song in the same way now. Killing me softly.
He's
killing me softly.
He's killing me.
Redub.
Yes,
that's coming.
I know. And if you're ever struggling for anything to keep yourself entertained, take the time to listen to the Birdie song.
No. But yeah, on that merry note.
Yes. Thank you for your time. Good afternoon, good evening, good night, good morning, Hanukkah, I don't know. Yes, I've been your host, Wayne Alexander, with
Jimmy Clayham, Matthew Hood.
Jimmy Clayham. Yeah. Oh, Jimmy.
Makes you feel good.
Make me feel good. Yeah.
Be seeing you.
Yes. Good night. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Mom, can I have a stomach pounder and a Coke?